this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? So that counting days until the second go. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around, just start to top the notes. It's all you need to do. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe at home? So that counting days until the second go. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around, just start to top the notes. It's all you need to do. reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe and home? So that counting days until a second glow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn this shit around, just start to top the youngs. It's all you need to do.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the HOTSPAR with me, Sim, and as always,
a bit of energy, Sim.
Come on, John.
Yeah, here we
Coupe
go.
de Gras, Coops,
Nice to see you again. It's been a
John
while.
Cooper.
It's been a while.
Not that
since
much,
we did one of these. A couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't got any better, has it?
No, not really.
Not
not really.
better.
We're hoping it would do.
No, you're always holding out hopes. Okay,
Oh,
maybe
I
next
know.
time, maybe next game. Oh, another 3 goals.
No, I think
All
last
right,
time we
another
did
ring.
this, weren't we? I think we hadn't lost the game yet, had we?
I think, well, it wasn't
weren't we on-
post-Palace. It was post-Palace.
Oh, was
I
it
think.
post-Palace the last
Yeah,
time we
I
did?
don't think it
Oh,
might
I
be
thought it was
before
pre-Palace.
Chelsea.
Okay.
Might be before Chelsea. And
Yeah.
since then, another 3-goal defeat to Chelsea, and then 3 goals conceded against Arsenal. 9 goals conceded in 3 games. Nuno,
Where do you want to start?
Nuno apparently on the ropes, they're saying. People saying calling for Nuno's head.
I know, we can talk about that as well.
Well, let's talk about
Do
it.
you want to start with that?
Let's start with Nuno, because I
Yeah.
want to know what you think about people who are saying Nuno out. Nuno clearly has shown he can't get anything out of these players. Considering we had North London derby on Sunday, you would have thought the players had to be up for that game. We showed absolutely nothing in terms of effort and desire and passion. When you look at that, do you think, is it best just to cut ties after 6 games, or do you think that's way too early to start even considering
It is
that?
too early, but let's be honest, if he loses the next couple games 3-0, then what? You know what I mean? What's Levy going to do?
Mm-hmm. What is he going to do? Well, is he going to go to his 10th choice?
What's he going to do then? I
number
do
10.
not want to see Ryan Mason come back in. Put it that way. You know what? Ryan Mason for the rest of the season? Come on, it's that. You know that can't be the way forward, can it?
But is it fair to?
But I think you still got to give him time, and I think we are going to weather this a little bit, and I think we are going to start to stabilise a little bit. I think he has earned the right to do that at least. But if things keep going as they're going at the moment, then it's going to be worrying for him, I think.
But is it fair for a manager who's been here for 2 months, got manager of the month in the first month,
exactly,
and then obviously he's obviously got 3 defeats,
Yeah.
bad defeats in the next month. But is it fair to then turn around and say, all right, we want him gone after
it is a bit
he's only
unfair.
been 2 months,
Yeah.
6 games?
I know it is. Yeah, I think you do have to stick with him because there's not many other options either, is there? So, you can't panic at this stage. But what I would say is, what's Levy going to do though if things do get worse?
Well, what do you think about the fact that Paratici? Nuno was Paratici's choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Levy was actually going to go in another direction until he brought in Paratici. Paratici said, "Do not win. Actually, you should probably get a manager who can be a bit more stable at the back, before you go all out attack."
Yeah.
And he said his choice was actually Gattuso, then Nuno.
Yeah.
Do you
So
think
if Nuno goes, does Paratici
I was
have
about
to
to say,
go?
does that
Are you gonna
undermine,
say that?
does that undermine
It does.
Paratici?
I think it does. Yeah.
You think it undermines it?
Yeah, it does. Because didn't Levy come out with his statement, his post-season statement, saying we understand what's required of this club and we have to play with attacking football. That's in our DNA, and we have to, bring in these younger players as well. We understand that that's what the fans are after. And then Paratici has twisted his arm to basically go the Nuno route. And if that doesn't work out, and we're losing all these games, not just losing them, if we're going to keep losing these games by 3 goals, then something is up, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be there are going to be some kind of changes made, and whether or not that's going to be both of them with their head on the chopping block or not, or just one of them or none of them, I don't know. It's going to be all up to Levy, isn't it? But I mean, I think that we have gone through some rough fixtures so far, and we have had some injuries, and we've just brought Ndombele back in, and
we're still trying to find the right balance, aren't we? Because I think what happened was, for what I can see, first 3 games, we were solid without being great.
Yeah.
Lucky in a couple of games to win, but again, I ended up getting over the line. Well, I thought, despite the fact that we were lucky to win, we were fairly solid at the back. Like, we didn't concede too many good quality chances. But everyone's complaining we need to be more attacking. We need to be more creative. The midfield 3 of Dele, Skip, and Højbjerg, not enough quality on the ball. We need to get more quality there. And then in the next 3 not against Palace, but obviously we lost 3-0 to Palace with Winks, Højbjerg and Skip. And then after that game, he's kind of gone all the way the other way. He's like got Dele against Chelsea. It was Dele and Ndombele, Lo Celso, Kane, Son, like all of them. He put them all in one team, and it worked for
45 minutes.
For when all tits up. And then against Arsenal, he went with Dele and Ndombele, Højbjerg on his own in the centre with Lucas, Kane and Son, and that was just a complete no-show. So do you think he's still just trying to... But
he's still trying to work it out.
Why did he go all the way the other way? I just think he just need to make one change. Keep Højbjerg and Skip there. Take out Dele and put Ndombele there. That's change.
I think our perfect midfield is Skip and Højbjerg, and it allows Ndombele to play a little bit further up the pitch. He's got a little bit more of a free role, like plays a free spirit almost.
Yeah, it made no...
That is the way to go.
Why he had to change it all up.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps sort of jumbling up all the time. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Arsenal game quickly? Because that's actually...
do we have to?
Well, no, just because what went wrong.
Yeah, go on.
Because I think it does lead into a few things.
Yeah.
I know everyone's gonna blame, and this is something that let's start with the defence, okay? Something that I've noticed, and it's a gripe of mine, okay? If you notice the Rudiger goal, the Chelsea goal, for Chelsea, it was a pullback, and it went behind everyone's back, and he scores, doesn't he? He knocks it in the corner.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, pullback, went behind everyone's back, went behind Rodon and...
For the third goal.
The third goal.
Yeah.
Who was it? Rodon and Davies. It went behind Rodon Davies' back. It's a pullback. Against Arsenal, pullback, went behind their back twice. For me, that is schoolboy error defending. You should always preempt. One goes goal side, one preempts the pullback. At least have a little bit of chemistry in the defence. You know what I mean? Be aware of who's going to be more capable of picking up.
Didn't all 3 goals come from pullbacks?
I think maybe all 3 even. Yeah.
No, the last
one was Harry Kane when he slides in.
Yeah. The other 2 came from pullbacks.
So for me, that is schoolboy level defending that you should be able to deal with. But let's put that to one side now for the Arsenal game. I know everyone's going to point at Sanchez and Dyer, but for me that wasn't where we lost the game. The game was lost in midfield. That first half, Dele Alli and Højbjerg were pushed so far forward. The only one was actually in the middle of the park was Ndombele, the person with probably the least work rate in the whole team, and he was just completely overloaded, completely overrun in that area. And then you notice Sanchez was having to push up to almost straddle between defence and midfield, and so he was caught between stools as well. So we looked completely stretched. That was the problem for me. And I don't know what it is, but last year, Højbjerg used to play quite a disciplined role in front of the back 4. And that's actually when we had a little uptick in performances, if you noticed, beginning part of last season. And then he started to become more box-to-box last year. I don't know if you noticed that as well.
I remember.
He started to become more of a box-to-box player. And we're even seeing this year, he's almost like playing a little bit further out on the right-hand side. He's pushing a lot further forward at times. And I think we need someone just to play a lot more of a disciplined role in front of the back 4 to create the stability from there. And then you can allow some of the attacking players to play their game.
I don't think that was actually what happened on Sunday. Actually, what happened on Sunday was Højbjerg has been playing that box-to-box role throughout the season. But Sunday, he actually moved Højbjerg from that box-to-box role to the deepest role, to the base of the 3. And he actually pushed Ndombele and Dele really far forward and left Højbjerg completely alone. in the centre. That's how I. That's
You
how,
saw it like that,
That's
yeah.
what I saw. Ndombele, for some reason, it was. I don't know. Must have been a tactic from Nuno. What happened? But Ndombele was never involved in the build-up play. And
Yeah, he couldn't even get on the ball, could he?
He was pushed out on the left-hand side every time we had the time we had the ball. And what Ndombele's biggest attributes is when he's on the ball on the half turn, looking forward, being positive, playing with instinct, playing quick passes forward, first touches. He did not only was it none of it, he didn't get a chance to do it. He didn't get on the ball at all.
No.
And he was not coming short for it. He wasn't being found when he's out on the left-hand side. When you have Ndombele, he's only useful to you if he's involved in the build-up play. If he's not involved in the build-up play, then he's no use to you. He can't cover that much ground. He's not that kind of player. He's not going to be strong in the challenge, that kind of stuff. He's not going to be particularly effective when, say, he gets a chance in front of goal. He's not that player you back to completely score every time, that kind of thing. Like, he just needs a chance and he'll score. He's not that kind of player either. So what you need him to do is being involved as much as possible in the build-up play, as much as possible when in the middle of the three, in the middle of the park, where he can twist and turn and get around players and create space. That's what he's good at. And so to have him so far forward, where you're playing long balls to him, or he's not involved in at all when you're trying to play out from the back, I didn't get it. I didn't get that.
I even said to my Arsenal friend, I said, you watch, Ndombele will be the best player in the first half and then he'll go missing second half, you know. He'll be good for like 40, and I didn't even see 45 minutes.
No, didn't even see 45 minutes.
You know, it was so
I was
disappointing.
bigging him up so much to my Arsenal.
I was like, you watch Ndombele the first few minutes.
All my friends were saying, Odegaard is much better than Ndombele. I was like, mate, the things Ndombele can do with the football, Odegaard can only dream of doing. But you know what? Odegaard showed him up on Sunday.
And it wasn't just Ndombele. For me, that was the whole team issue. You know, that was the structurally how we played. It was the way Nuno set us up. It was just, and I think he came out after and said it was like a mistake as well, didn't he? He said he set us up wrong. I think he came out and admitted it. He did come out and say that, which is good to see. And also, I would say the forwards, they weren't working hard enough. They are not working hard enough. There was a point in the watch along where we noticed them for about 30 seconds. They were all walking for 30 seconds. That's not good enough.
Not in a derby.
No, not in a derby. I've never seen that in a North London derby before. I don't even remember White Hart Lane. Even though we were there were times when we were terrible. They would be fighting for every single ball. They were treating it like every single ball like it was like life or death. And we didn't see any of that. It was almost like a training exercise, a training day, pre-season day. That's what really hurt me. I don't mind losing 3-1 if you've put everything on the pitch, but players just walking round. I've never seen that before in North London. Have you?
No, never in a North London derby. Although, having said that, there's a few times we've gone to the Emirates and completely not turned up. But I think this is definitely being 3-0 down at half-time. That's the worst I've seen it. For sure, it's the worst I've seen it.
Yeah, but effort-wise, but forget the scoreline. Effort-wise, I think that's the worst I've seen.
Yeah, you'd have to say that.
And so
that's what
hurts. That's what hurts with that.
Yeah,
it really does.
And that's something. That's probably the most worrying thing. Why people are calling for Nuno's head. There's rumours this morning that we saw these reports under Mourinho. We saw these reports late in the Pochettino era about players not being happy with the manager, about players not happy with the manager's methods under Pochettino. The reports were that they weren't happy he was working them too hard.
Mourinho.
When Mourinho wasn't hard enough. Yeah. And now they're saying, apparently the reports are saying the players are not happy with his management style. Apparently he's cold and he's not cold and unapproachable. Really? Apparently that's what they're saying after 6 games. When
how are you hearing this?
That's what the reports are saying.
Yeah, but how do they find this information?
They get leaks, don't they?
They get leaks.
Yeah, they get leaks.
Players just
text them. That's what
players
happened.
just text and say, "Yeah, he's really cold."
That's what happened. They get anonymous sources. Anonymous.
Difficult to take. You have to take it with a pinch of salt, though, don't you?
Of course, but it's no surprise that we always hear these things from the Tottenham camp.
Yeah, maybe we need to sign Goldilocks.
Goldilocks,
yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because Poch was working them too hard.
So not hard enough. It's just right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But what do you think when you start hearing again after 6 games of a new manager's tenure? Already these things are starting to leak.
You know what's disappointing? When he came in, I actually thought one of the things I think he's going to have the edge on Mourinho is being a better man manager. That was the feeling that I got from him. And I think now I'm starting to doubt that a little bit now. I'm not sure if he is or not.
Apparently
I thought he'd be better with the younger players and he'd put more of an arm around the shoulder. It wouldn't be such a going to war siege mentality and punishing players if they didn't perform like Mourinho was doing last season. A little mistake, out the team for a few games. I'm not sure. I thought that he would be better at nurturing these players and helping to inspire them rather than having that kind of drill sergeant mentality.
There was one source who said he's like Mourinho without the CV.
Yeah. That's a
Which
bit
would-
worrying.
would
Yeah, that's,
be a worry.
that's a bit cutting.
Which
Yeah.
would be, but
Mm.
I just think maybe if it is the case, look, obviously we have to take it with a pinch of salt because we don't know exactly
Yeah.
who these players are, or if it's true, or if the Sun are just making up rubbish. Which you know what,
Mm.
it's from the Sun, so let's be honest, it could easily be complete rubbish. But if it is true, rather than sacking Nuno, I would rather Nuno goes the way of Poch did in his first year. You know, after the first few months, it just wasn't working for Poch, was it? Like whatever he did, he couldn't get it right after the first few months, and instead of. And obviously, famously, he nearly got sacked. But instead of,
He finished 5th.
we finished 5th. I'm saying, but
Yeah.
the first few months
Yeah.
of his tenure, he really was getting it wrong. We were getting heavy defeats regularly. We were really struggling. And then he said, "All right." It got to a point where he was like, "Okay, no more Adebayor, no
Yeah.
more
That's
Soldado,
when the mercenaries
no
left.
more Capu, no more Kabul,
Yeah.
no more Aaron Lennon, no more. None of these players. Get them out. I'm not playing them for one more second in this team. I'm only going to be playing players who are going to implement my system and run full pelt every second on the pitch." And maybe that's what he's got to do. Maybe that's what he's got to do, because at the moment,
Okay.
when we're doing those kind of performances like we have been the past 3 games,
So on that note, then,
I know you're going to bring up.
on that note, then, needing to players to really work full pelt
Yeah.
for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Does he look like that sort of player that's running full pelt for 90 minutes?
No, he doesn't. But what I would say about that is, about Harry Kane, is, look, he hasn't looked the same. I can't deny that since he's been in the team. Of course not. I think there probably is something about what happened in the summer and about him. I think the issues at the moment with Kane is that not only, I think the only way keeping Kane probably would have worked is you have to prove to him that staying isn't a bad thing, and that we actually can, if he does stay, get back to a level that he wants to be, which is Champions League, and be a team progressing. And back if we would have seen investment backing the manager, he's not again the only sole striker in the squad. Then I think keeping Kane could have been a positive.
But you can see it's detrimental now, isn't it?
We're now in a stage where is keeping Kane detrimental to us? It's difficult to answer that right now. It doesn't look good. But I think it's too difficult to answer that right now. I think for Kane,
Really, it's too difficult now
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, I think it's. Too
I
difficult
think
to-
it's pretty. I think it's pretty evident now.
I don't,
really
because I
do.
wouldn't put it all down. I would have put it down to Kane. Why it is how it is.
No, not all down to him, but you can definitely see there is a change when he plays and when he doesn't play. Okay, I know this. Okay, I always say stats are misleading. Okay, but I'm just going to lay out some stats here because I know
Yeah.
you like stats. The first 3 games,
Yeah.
scored 3, let in 0. When Kane's been playing, we've scored 1, let in 9.
Kane played in the first 3 games.
He didn't play against Man City.
No, but against Wolves and Watford he did.
No, but when he's on the pitch. So okay, let me
Watford
rephrase
he
it.
started. He started against Watford on the third.
Did he
game.
start in that
He
one?
started that game.
Okay, so it's 2 goals. Scored 2, let in 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, without him, and then with Kane in the side, we've conceded 9
And scored 2.
and scored 2. Is it 2?
Well, we scored against Watford and we scored against
Yeah,
Arsenal.
but he was on the pitch when that goal went in.
Yeah, he started the
Yeah,
game.
okay.
Against Watford he
Yeah,
started.
Yeah, okay. So look at that statistically.
Yeah, but that's
What
such
does that tell
a
you?
small. It's such a small.
I think that's
sample
pretty
size.
significant.
No,
I do.
don't think so. I think
If
it's
you
a
look
very
at-
small sample size.
Okay, but then
Very small sample size. You
yeah,
can't
it is-
say
no,
that one.
and I agree, because there's a difference between correlation and causality. I
Yeah.
always make this argument,
Mm-hmm.
and that for me is a correlation. But I still think you can read a little bit into that as well. I don't think you can totally ignore that. Is what I'm saying.
I think if you put a front 3 of Son, Bergwijn, and Lucas on the against Arsenal, I don't think it changes anything. The way we were playing,
Yeah.
I don't think it changes a thing.
And
And that's the core of the issue. In terms of Kane staying, is it detrimental? Potentially. At this point, you got to say I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I think.
But why though? What? Because in the first HOTSPAR we did,
Yeah.
your argument was that's nonsense. Of course he's going to be beneficial. But so what's changed in your mind?
The setup of the team he isn't suiting it, and he isn't. We need the Kane. For this to work, we need the Kane that was the Kane of his early years, where he was a lot fresher,
Yeah.
when he was running a lot more. Now, even Kane, which I can concede, past couple years, he's very much had to conserve his energy for when he's in the forward positions and when when he has the ball.
Yeah.
Because as I think every striker in Kane's position has to do this, because once you're like Kane, where you're not naturally the most fastest player, right? You're not naturally gifted physically and those kind of things. You have to. It's not like he's a naturally quick player, where even when he's in his late 20s, even though he's not as quick when he's as 21, he's still got a lot of pace. Because Kane was never relied on his pace, he was never the quickest player. He was kind of quick when he was 21, not the fastest. And now, because he's in his late 20s, he's obviously not very fast. And so he has to conserve his energy for when he does get the ball in the forward positions. And so he does have a bit of burst of pace and can break. Like, for example, that goal against Wolves. If he's running around for 90 minutes, he won't be able to.
Yeah, he used to be able to do that.
Yeah, he used to be able to do it on a regular basis.
Yeah,
but when you're late 20s, obviously you're not going to do it.
He's adapting
has to adapt his game,
bit,
which he can do very well, very efficiently. But at the moment, because Spurs as a team, we have to, because we have a lack of quality, and we have to make up for that lack of quality in hard work and effort.
Yeah.
Right, because Kane, he has the quality. He doesn't need that hard work and effort to make up for his lack of quality, whereas the other players might, I think, do.
But I think it's negatively impacting the team that he's just trotting around like a show pony, though. And I think
potentially, but we need him. We need him because we need those moments.
I disagree. I think we would look a lot better if you started with three forwards that are, like the fluid front three that we played against City, and utilise that. That's for me our most explosive, our most deadly part of our team. Use that, and if that's not working, you need to stabilise it later on in the game. Then you bring Kane on, and that worked against Wolves. I thought when he came on, he sort of settled the team down a little bit. Do you see what I mean? But when Kane's in the team to start with, he's never going to get pulled off the pitch.
That's true.
And this is the issue that I have with Kane. His reputation is ahead of his performances. So it's like he's not having a good game. Didn't have a game. I think it's been 3 or 4 games on the trot, Premier League games. He hasn't played well at all. Now, it should be a meritocracy. The manager should say, I'm not going to do this based on your reputation, who you are. I'm going to do this as how are you playing on the pitch? Because I think it sends a very negative message if they can see a player's there that's clearly not playing well, out of form, and the manager keeps picking him. That's going to set a bad message for the rest of the players. It's saying, like, why does this guy get a different measurement to all of us? Moura had a bad game against Wolves in the Premier League. He was out the next game. So why is it when Kane has 3 games on the trot where he's the worst player, is he still in the team? And I think that has a bad apple effect on the rest of the players around them. And not only that, I think that when you start Kane, you set up the team in one dimension. It's a little bit slower. If Kane has a good game, then he can get into that quarterback position. You can start spreading the passes, and it kind of looks like a strong sort of way of playing. If he's not in that position, I think all the other forwards, we lack fluidity, we lack pace in the transition, we lack that explosiveness. They also don't come back a little bit deeper to pick up the second ball on the edge of the area and spring on teams. They kind of work around Kane playing a little bit too far forward as well. There's a lot of spaces in between the lines now. So I think him being in the team has a negative impact on the team. I really do. And I'm not saying get rid. I'm just saying it's okay to drop the guy. It's okay to take him off. And actually that would be good for him as well, because it's like saying, do you know what? I need to buck my ideas up. I need to put a bit more work, effort in. I need to go back onto the training ground again, And that's also going to have a positive effect on all the other players. It's going to create competition. There's not going to be anyone that's bigger than any other player then.
I take your point, and I think there's a lot of validity in what you're saying. Well, the only thing I would say is, we don't, unfortunately for Spurs, we don't. I know we could play Son, obviously Bergwijn's injured at the moment.
Yeah,
we could play Gil, Son and Moura in a front three. I don't personally think there's enough goals there in that front three for it to be that viable.
Look what happened against Rennes. Kane was playing in that game.
Yeah.
Kane comes off. Remember you said keep him fresh for Chelsea. Rennes were dominating us in that game. As soon as he came off, we started to dominate Rennes, and we controlled the last 20 minutes, like at a canter when he came off, and we got the goal without him. Højbjerg popped up with the goal. You'd be surprised when Kane goes off. There will be players that step up in replacement.
He's the only striker we have in the squad. I think it's more important for me. Yeah, look, there are some valid
They can
things.
score, man. They can. We can score
I don't
goals
think
without
there's
him.
enough goals without Kane. And what I would say is as well, is when I look at, for example, a performance on Sunday, I think the most important thing would be to get how we'll get a functioning midfield right first.
Yeah.
And then once we get that right, then we'll see a better Kane and a better front three. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
we can agree on that.
I
mean, we can agree that there's
then-
bigger issues. We can agree there's other issues as well. Definitely.
Yeah. So I think at the moment, there's a lot of baggage on Kane's head after what happened in the summer. A lot of people are not happy with him. He's not playing well. Not only is he not playing well, but he's probably even more pissed off than in other potential scenarios of him staying.
What do you put it down to? You kind of touched upon it at the beginning, but what do you put it down to?
Him
Kane's,
not playing.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of things. To be
Yeah.
honest, I think there's a lot of things. I think him not moving in the summer, and then and obviously it probably plays a bit on his mind. I think I would say the first of all, the football we're playing, he's literally feeding on such little scraps that he has to not only be asking Kane to be as good as he was last season, we're probably asking Kane to be better than he was last season to make the similar impact to what he did how he performed last season to get him into the game. I believe, and that's probably making him perform worse in a way, because I feel like he isn't part of a functioning team. Whereas if he would have slotted into City, he would have been just literally, he wouldn't have to do half the work he does at Tottenham. Pretty much, he could just hang
that's
around
what
the penalty area.
On the last
score.
Yeah, but on the last hotspot, I actually said, and you kind of laughed at me with this. I said if Kane went to Man City, he would play a few games and he would get dropped. Do you remember I said that? And you were like, "What? What? No way, no way!" And we're already talking about it with Spurs.
No, but I don't think he'd get dropped, because I don't think he would have to do as much work.
I think he would.
I think
he would at Man City. I think he would.
Man City don't play long balls to no one like we do.
Not long balls. I'm saying he would require. Pep would require much more work rate off the ball than Kane's providing right now for us. And I think he would get fed up with it. I do believe that.
No, Kane would probably do it for probably City, but
I don't think he's not working hard now. I just think this is his game now. I think this is what you're seeing, and plus the added elements of
but I
the
think
lack of motivation as well. And I said it on the last one. I said, yes, he's going to be a professional and he's going to work hard, but he's not going to. His heart and soul's not going to be in these performances this season, because he's only human. If some guy has his mind set on going to another club and he doesn't get that move, we're all human. There's going to be a part of us that's going to lack motivation. Even if he knocks in 30 goals this season, he knows that might not even get us fourth.
It won't, yeah.
So where's the motivation for the guy?
There's little.
There's very little motivation. So you could see when you put all this together, it kind of explains why his performances are falling off, and I expected that to happen.
But it's still very early in the season.
It is early.
I have seen him go. Look, I've seen him go.
It's not looking good.
I've seen him go 9 games at the beginning of the season without scoring.
Oh, has he gone longer than this?
Oh yeah, do you not remember?
I thought it was just August.
No. Do you not remember the
Which
season?
season?
He had the first season where he broke into the team.
Yeah.
And then the next season,
Yeah.
when we lost to Leicester in the league title, the first night there was a whole massive thing, because everyone. That's why he got the one season wonder tag. I don't know if you remember, because for the first 9 games that season he was basically like a different player. He couldn't hit a barn door for 9 games. 9 games, remember?
Was it 9 games?
9 games.
Yeah.
He didn't score until he broke his duck. We beat Man City 4-1 at home. I do remember that game.
I do remember that now.
He scored.
Because Lamella's going crazy for him.
And he scored that goal. Which went off his shin. It
happy with it.
And then all of a sudden, bam, he started hammering the goals home again.
Yeah, but do you think that's going to happen?
I have to hope that, don't I? I hope that happens. He gets a few goals and then he starts banging them in. The thing is with Kane, and this is what I mean about us being in this Conference League and stuff, like there's not even any hope. There's not even any hope of achieving what he wants, even if we win the competitions we're in. You know what I mean? If we win the Conference League,
it's not good for him.
It's not good enough.
No, I know.
That's because it puts us in Europa League, and he doesn't want to be in Europa League. So what's the point of giving your all in these Conference League games when it's not where you want to be? Premier League, obviously we want to be top 4, but he wants to be challenging for the titles. He doesn't want to just be top 4.
This is why he needed to go in the summer, even if it was for 120 million.
But the reason why I didn't want him gone is because
You thought it was going to make a big. You said you thought it was going to make a big difference to us in challenging for the top 4.
Not only that, I was hoping it could supplement other signings we would make if we would have got other signings in the forward line.
Yeah.
We were linked with a striker, and then obviously we never got one. If we would have got maybe like an Adama Traore, supplement the striking department. If we were going to get maybe like another creative midfielder, really show Kane that. Look, I know we're forcing you to stay because we're not getting the money, but we are serious about being challenging this season for getting back in the Champions League. We want you here to join this new project which we all believe in, and we want you to be part of that. If we could have shown Kane we're serious. I don't think. Look, Kane wanted to leave. But he didn't want to leave because he doesn't like being at Spurs. He wanted to leave because he felt like for the better of his career, he had to go.
Of course, yeah. Everyone knows
that.
It's
not like he doesn't like Spurs. So I think
I know.
So if he believes Spurs was still going in the right direction, he only leaves because he doesn't believe Spurs are going in the right direction. We could prove that we are. I don't think it would be a problem. But the problem is how things have played out. Now we've probably
it was the wrong decision. Should have sold
but
him.
Look,
and plus his stock's going to fall dramatically this season.
Everyone says that, but
I do believe that. I think it's probably going to be worth about 70 million.
Right, but what was the offer last summer? 75 million.
Was that all it was?
75 plus 25 in add-ons. That was the offer from City.
Was that the official offer?
That was the only official offer. So can you get?
It's going to be a lot less than that.
I don't think it will. At 29, if he stays injury free, if he does have a decent season in front of goal,
if he only scored,
I don't think it will be much less than that. So from that point of view, if you're not losing that much money, is it that much of an issue?
Well, when you put it like that, if it's not that much difference, but I don't think it's going to be worth that. And what if he doesn't? What if he? Because I predicted before the season started he would score 17 goals this season. Do you remember before the season started?
You did. You said 17.
And it's going that way as well.
If he gets 17, if he gets 17 goals,
that's for a world class striker. That's not good enough.
It's not good enough, but it still proves that it depends where Spurs finish, but it still proves that in a team who are struggling, he can still score regularly. That does prove that in a team. So imagine putting him in a team who are not struggling.
He's not going to have. I just don't see him having a good season this season. I really don't. And as I said, you can't take the guy off because of who he is, which is going to have a negative impact on the rest of the team. So I don't know where we go from here with him. I mean, what would you drop him? That's the name of the title. Would you drop him at any point?
At any point?
Well, let's say for next game.
I wouldn't drop him for next game.
Game after.
If he doesn't score again.
Or if he puts in the same performance, would you drop him?
If he puts in the same performance, like against Arsenal and Chelsea and Palace, would I drop him? Probably, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
I never thought I'd see the day.
If he goes 4 games, I wouldn't drop him for next game. I still think that if Nuno can find the right balance, we'll see a different Kane. I really believe that. When our game plan is get Darren Sanchez on the ball and lump it vaguely towards Kane's direction, which it seems to be at the moment, I can understand why he's a bit pissed off at that, and he's not getting the best out of him.
But isn't he the perfect striker?
Yeah, he is.
You still think that?
Yeah, why not? Of course, I love it.
He's not the perfect striker.
No one's perfect, but he has his flaws, but he can do everything. He can do everything.
He can't do everything.
He can do everything. Except he's not an unbelievable
do you know what I'd say about Harry Kane? He's a world-class penalty taker.
Yeah,
that's
world-class finisher.
Yeah, he's
world-class
finisher.
He
could say world-class finisher. But as an actual
passer of the ball,
striker,
passer of the ball,
all the other elements put together.
Passer of the ball is world-class. Got good.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that this season?
Not this season, but we've seen it previously. Look, 6 games in.
Yeah.
It's 6 games in. The season is 38 games long.
Yeah.
As I've said, I've seen him not score for 9 games and win the Golden Boot. He won the Golden Boot that year. He didn't score for the first 9 games. Yeah, but don't you find it slightly... I find it slightly ironic that fans talk about him being world-class, and yet we're talking about dropping him from the 11 ahead of any other player. Don't you find that a little bit ironic? I said I wouldn't drop him.
No, but if he didn't score next game...
Well, not didn't score, if he had the same performance.
But he could be dropped... Next game, in your eyes, the following game, right? And this is our supposed world-class player. How can it be that a world-class player is the first to be dropped from the team?
Why? How is he the first to be dropped?
No, we're talking about he could be the one that should be dropped next.
I'll drop a lot of players before him.
But who's actually in the first team and every single game in the first team and should
how
we
many
drop him
other
or
players
not?
are there who's
Yeah.
automatically in the
But
first
do you
team?
not
Him
think
and Son and Lloris, that's
But
it.
no, my point is, don't you think it's slightly ironic that we're talking about a player being world class and we're also talking about dropping him in a team that's like bombing in the league? Isn't there that's not a part of you that goes there's cognitive dissonance there?
Because you're saying he's not world class.
We're talking about a player performing so badly that he needs to be. Like we're talking, he could be dropped. Maybe he should be dropped. That's what the video title's called. And at the same time, we're also talking about a player being world class.
Okay.
How many other world class footballers in the world do you know that would have a conversation should they be dropped?
Players go through bad form. It's not Kane's not the only world class player to go through bad form. I don't.
Yeah, but it's not
understand.
just. It's kind of not just form, though, is it?
What is it then?
It's not just form. It's also his mentality at the moment. It's the way he's showing up.
So why
You know,
is I don't understand your point. What's your point?
I'm talking about you talk about him being world class, and a lot of
Yeah.
fans say he's world class,
Yeah.
even at the moment,
Yeah.
right? And I'm saying, how can that be when you talk about a player being world class, and you're also having discussions, having debates around should he be dropped? A world class elite level footballer should be the first name on the team sheet.
And he is my first name on the team sheet.
Really, even now,
Well, in normal times, yeah.
in normal times, yeah.
Look.
But we're talking now.
Harry
though, Sim,
Kane,
we're talking now.
has been the best striker probably in the league for 8 years in a row. Arguably, maybe look, you can give or take one or two strikers, but arguably, definitely in the
you
top
think
like
he's now?
3 best strikers in the league.
Do you think he's
Who's
now?
better than him?
Probably Lukaku.
Okay, mate, you can argue
Yeah.
Lukaku. Who else?
Yeah, say Ronaldo. Scored more.
Okay, who else?
I don't know. Go through the teams.
First of all, Lukaku. If you
How many- yeah.
if you ask most people, if you ask,
I would say Lukaku.
if you ask fans at the beginning of this season, who's better, Lukaku or Kane? Before the game,
I said
Premier League
Lukaku.
started, you would have said
To you.
Lukaku.
I did to you.
When?
You asked me at the beginning of the season.
I'm saying,
And then,
okay,
then
you said
when I
Lukaku.
said that, you said
I'm
he'll probably
saying-
score more because he's in a better team.
I'm
That was
saying,
your response.
yeah, that's true. But I'm saying 80% of fans probably would have said Kane is better than Lukaku at the beginning of this season. So just because he's scored a few goals at the beginning of the season doesn't make him. Oh, he's now
No, of
Kane.
course,
Now
yeah.
Lukaku's better than Kane. And
Yeah,
that's
it's,
it.
as you said, it's only
3
6 games
It's
gone.
only 6 games
But
gone.
I think
Kane on current form. Yeah, you can say Kane's the worst striker in the league, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's only 6 games. So it's only 6 games gone. We have to
Kane
judge it a
is
little bit longer.
Kane, right?
Does he
based
deserve to be
on-
dropped? Does he deserve to be dropped right now?
On current form, you could argue yes. You could argue on current form he does, but doesn't mean that doesn't mean we should drop him.
Okay.
Because I think we
Time for a poll.
Huh?
Time for a poll.
Should Kane be dropped? I think
Yeah.
because without Kane, if we start, of course things have gone wrong with him, but if we can't repair that relationship, then we can't move forward. I think for this season, we need to have a fit and firing Kane. And maybe dropping will.
I think it'd be good.
Something.
I think
Maybe
it'd be
it
good
will
for
be. I
everyone
don't know.
if we drop him.
I don't
do
know, but
believe that.
I would rather have I would rather have Kane up front, trying our best. Nuno try his best to sort of midfield out. And look, if we get to a stage, right, where the team is functioning, right, we got and then we're giving the ball to Kane and he keeps misplacing passes or hitting the shot over the bar and or he's not even running to get into positions. Like we're getting the ball into the final third and yet Kane's not there because he's been trotting around. Then I'll say to you, look, drop him. But right now, we're literally lumping the ball forward to no one, and then Kane isn't getting there, and we're saying he's rubbish, drop him. I'm saying I'm not happy with his performance. I'm just saying I want to see him in a functioning team first, and then see how he does before
We were functioning the first 3 games.
Okay, everyone says first 3 games. The first game
Look,
against City,
it wasn't
functioned.
perfect, but we won those 3 games.
First of all, against Watford, he started.
Yeah.
So you were functioning when him in
Yeah. Okay.
against Watford.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you saying?
But since then,
We
it
weren't
hasn't.
functioning against Watford.
Yeah. We were still in the game.
We were the
weren't
better
But
team.
Yeah.
We were the better
yeah.
team. We won 1-0. We
Yeah.
were the better team. He probably should have got a goal, but he missed.
Yeah.
True. Against Wolves, we were lucky that game. Let's be honest. We were very
Yeah.
lucky against Wolves.
But it's looking worse now that he's properly bedded his place down, isn't it? I think that's the
but
argument. That's what fans are
but
noticing, though.
I disagree. But that's what's changed.
No, it's not only that, but
No,
it
but
could
I
be. It
disagree,
could be
that's
an
the main
important.
thing.
It could be
Against
one
Palace,
ingredient. Though.
Against Palace, we had Winks, Højbjerg, Skip in the 3, and then we went down to 10 men. We had we again just lumping balls towards Kane in his vague direction, and we're expecting him to what? Take it down and then play someone for on goal with no runners. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, look, no one's putting it all on him. I get that, but at the same time, there's little things that he's doing. He's not working hard enough. He's not holding the ball up well enough. When he gets it, he keeps falling over as well. He never used to do that. He used to be able to hold the ball. He used to be able to shield the ball.
I disagree.
He gets a little touch and he's always falling over. He did that in the Arsenal game as well.
I disagree. Actually, I completely disagree with that because he always used to fall over and win free kicks.
But he doesn't shield the ball well enough now.
But now the referees are asked to play on a bit more, so he's not getting as many free kicks as he used to.
You know, I don't think he's as good aerial as he used to be either. I don't think he's as good, heading the ball. I think that his overall, efforts in trying to like be more instrumental for the team has gone. I don't think that's there anymore. And he does seem like he just trots around, and his body language as well. He just doesn't show he's playing with heart, with kind of a degree of oomph. And I don't know if you can see that as well. But that's important to see. You need to be able to see that, from a player.
But for example, that third goal against Arsenal, he gave the ball away, right? And then who's the closest player to the ball when they score? It's Kane. Why is he the only player running back for the ball?
It's because he effed up. He tried to make up for it.
No.
That's what happens when a player loses the ball. You try and
correct. But why is the only player? It doesn't mean just because it's your responsibility to win the ball back, which I agree with, and he should be running back. But why is he the only player engaging anyone? Where is everyone else? Where is everyone else?
That was what we said earlier. That's the big problem was there were so many gaping holes in the middle of the park.
I'm just saying, when you see that, right? Is there any wonder he's like a bit despondent?
No, I get what you're saying. Look, I understand that you're apologising for a little bit because yes, structurally that there's an issue with the team at the moment, but you do have to call him out though. At the same time,
I agree.
We have to call him out. Yeah, and it's not a surprise, is what I'm saying. No. I predicted this beginning of the season.
Yeah, but it's only. I think it's too early to call a win. Yeah.
No, I'm not calling a win. I'm just saying, if we're saying, this is a bit of a shock, and we weren't expecting this. Structurally, we're all over the place, and it's because of the way the team's playing. That for me, that wasn't why I predicted at the beginning of the season. I could see this was going to come with him, and I could see this is going to affect the team in this way, and that's what I'm worried about.
All right, let's read through
do you
some
want to super chat it?
Let's read through some super chats from. Sorry.
Oh, do you want to do a poll?
I can make a poll. All right.
I love.
Are you making it? Yeah. All right. We're going to make a poll, I guess. What's the poll called then? Should Kane be dropped?
Yeah.
Should Harry Kane be dropped? Okay. MD1 says, you're the one discussing about dropping him. Don't compare that to every fan. If Son played bad for 2 games, should we drop them both? Lol. That's true. Were you last season when you admittedly said Son went through a bit of a bad patch? Remember?
Yeah.
Should we have dropped him?
He since I would say February this year, Son's game has gone. I would say a little bit.
So should we drop him?
He's been looking jaded, but for me, the difference between Son and Kane is in those tight moments. For me, Son's more likely to pull a rabbit out of the hat and rescue you a goal, create a rescue goal, and he's shown that this season. Whereas I don't get that same feeling Kane can do that. On the edge of the area, I don't feel like he can quickly make a yard for himself anymore and get that shot off quickly, like Moura did. He dribbled past a couple of players, got the shot off, hit the bar, got tipped onto the bar. You will not do it, will you? You will not do it. You knew you would not do it. But even Moura, he's got the ability to just like quickly get a shot off from the edge of the area. For me, Kane has lost that ruthlessness in those areas at the moment. He doesn't have that
right now,
that
since the season started, but last season he had it, I think.
More so.
Season he had it. I think last season
But I think Son, even if his form goes, because we're talking about Son, remember, even if his performances go a little bit and he's not moving as freely, I would still prefer to see. I get the impression that he's more likely to pull something out of the hat in those positions, and he's shown that already this season. I still think, and here's another thing I'm going to say. This is going to be controversial. And do you remember the last HOTSPAR when I said everything that everyone's saying now about Kane? I said in the last HOTSPAR, every one of you was abusing me. John, you're a prat. You don't know what you're talking about, Harry Kane. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but
and now almost everyone's talking what I said then. So I feel like there should be a little bit of acknowledgement there. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like,
you said Kane was not going to be a bad start.
I was the canary out the mine, the first canary in the mine.
What are you going to say if Kane gets golden boot?
But I'm going to say this. But I'm going to say this about Son, and so this is probably going to get a lot of heat now, right? But then in a few weeks, people might. I would say since around February this year, I've noticed a big change in Son's game. Okay, he isn't moving as freely. He has lost a bit of pace, believe it or not. Even though he's still very fast, don't get me wrong, he's not moving as fast. His touch has gone a little bit, right? But he's still got the technique to be able to score goals from anywhere. You know what I mean? But just the way his movement in the box, his running onto the ball, isn't quite as sharp as it was I would say around February this year. Okay, so please, you know what I mean? Just hold. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I have noticed his game go as well a little bit. But he's got so much quality in his finishing that he's able to still come up with stuff for us, if you know what I mean. So both of those, I'd say, have dropped off a lot since. And I would say Kane as well has dropped off a lot since around the same sort of time as well this year.
So when do we start thinking about dropping Son?
He's scored. How many goals he scored this season?
2, 3, 2,
3.
3.
Yeah, 3 out of how many? Yeah.
3 out of 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
It's
I don't want to
think
drop
it's good. Yeah. So as much as I can see that the kind of the elements of his game, such as like the speed, the explosiveness has gone a little bit, the touch has gone a little bit. When he gets the ball in the air, he's sort of taking a few touches, then going back inside a little bit. Whereas in the past, he sort of would take that onto his foot and get a shot off. He's not quite, being as ruthless as he was before. But still, I'm seeing more results from Sonny than I'm seeing from Kane.
Yeah, because he scored 3 goals. But on Sunday, Kane had 5 shots.
And I would say, also that people will start noticing about Sonny. I would say in a few weeks they're going to start making comments about how he's dropping off as well. That's my prediction. But so far, because he's coming up with the goals.
So if Kane's dropping off and Son's dropping off, what are we going to?
Yeah, we're in trouble, aren't we? Scarlet.
What are we left
Scarlet.
with?
No, but I'm just
Son.
saying that I have seen a difference in Son's game, and it is a bit of a concern for me. But at the moment, he's popping up, so you've got to keep it going, haven't you? But
Sebas Wolf 28 says Son keeps scoring and Kane keeps having bad performances. Son on top, Gil left wing, Lucas right wing should be our attacking 3 for now.
I agree with that. Yeah, or you could have Sonny on the right, Hill on the left, and Moura in the middle. Either way, you could play a fluid front three.
I think we could try it. I just think if we have that front 3 and we're still lumping balls forward long, it's not going to change anything.
I don't think we would so much, because I think when those 3 work together, let's say a fluid front 3, if you noticed in the City game, they would come back to the edge of the area almost, and they would pick up those second balls, and then they would spring all together, and they'd be staggered, if you know what I mean, a bit further forward. You might have like a Moura on the edge of the area, a Bergwijn, and then a Son, let's say, staggered, you know what I mean, further up the pitch.
Like a relay, you mean?
Yeah, like a relay almost, you know what I mean, yeah.
Passing, he runs a bit.
But there was a bit of a system there, and I think you'd find that if we did it, they would revert back to that. Whereas at the moment with the forwards, it's very static. There's a lot of space between them and the midfield. There's no real passage of play. We don't really. There's no real understanding about which players are coming back to retrieve the ball, collect the ball, and spring on teams. It's all a little bit sparse, if you know what I mean. And I think you would notice that we wouldn't be playing long balls if that happened. I think those 3 have really worked. They'd be really interchanging, quick 1-2s.
You're saying it's Kane's fault we're playing long balls?
No.
So you just said without Kane we won't play long balls, though.
I think it'd be less of that. I do think it would be slightly less of that. I think they'd be working the ball through the midfield a little bit.
So even if we had that same midfield 3 doing the same things, it would make a difference. Which
midfield 3?
Well, we're playing on Sunday.
No, you need to have. I would say skip Højbjerg, and then you can have Ndombele, and when he burns out, you can replace him with an Ali or Lo Celso. But with the encouragement that they can play a little bit further forwards. But you've got the stability at the back. That, for me, is the perfect foundation.
Yeah, we haven't tried that with Kane up top yet.
Okay, all right, let's try it for Sim.
Thank you.
Let's try it for Sim.
What else have we got? Pepic says Harry Kane would have 7+ goals if he were in City. It's not him, it's our midfield, to be honest.
I disagree. You can see his touch. Even Kane's touch is heavy in the penalty area at the moment. It's looking heavy. He's getting these touches, and they're a heavy touch, and he's losing the ball. He's not sharp. You can see that.
I think on Sunday.
Oh, here we go.
I think on Sunday there was that one quick snapshot which forced Ramsdale to parry it, which could have been followed in if Son got there ahead of Tomiyasu. That was a good save. That was a quick snapshot, which I think he did right with. The chance that he missed, everyone obviously rags at him, which he should have scored.
Would you have said, he's frustrating in the final third?
Who, Kane?
Yeah.
Probably, but anyway. Kane, that chance that he missed, which was a long ball over the top, and he got on the end of it. Despite the miss, which was bad, and considering he got into that position, he should have scored. I actually think he did quite well to shove off Tomiyasu, hold off Tomiyasu for strength, take the ball down expertly, and then he obviously just missed. It was just wide, unlucky. Could have had a penalty.
If that was Moura, you'd be going, "That's why he's." No,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Go,
no, I wouldn't.
See, he's frustrating in the final third.
The difference with Moura is he wouldn't have made the run in behind. He never does. He doesn't make runs in behind, Lucas Moura. That's my gripe.
I thought he had a great game actually.
I wouldn't say great. It was okay. It was okay. And also,
considering the opposition, considering the circumstances,
Kane,
I thought he played
Kane
well.
should have had a penalty. I thought.
I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know why did they not VAR that just to go off.
I don't know. Apparently,
Does
because the contact wasn't significant enough. Apparently, that's what they're saying.
That for me was a. Did it look like a penalty in the stadium?
It looked like a Stonewall penalty in the stadium. I thought it was definitely.
Did everyone react? All the
yeah,
fans
everyone
react?
thought it was a Stonewaller.
Yeah.
So obviously, but we can't.
Yeah.
I was row 2, so I couldn't really see.
But I want to know what is the actual ruling on that? Why is it? As fans, we need to know when are they going to check a VAR and when they're not.
They're doing.
What's the kind of the grey area there?
If they're only doing it for clear and obvious errors. So if they don't deem the tackle significant contact, if it wasn't significant contact,
that needs to be very clearly defined, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's not subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
Subjective.
where do you draw the line between a significant contact
Basically,
and a
they're giving more
contact?
power to the referees on the pitch now compared to last season.
Yeah.
So what they're going to say is, the referee's going to make a decision. The VAR is going to look at it, and if there's not a significant foul being made or a serious or a clear foul, where if it's just a little touch, then we're going with the on-field decision.
Yeah.
If
That was more so, wasn't it?
So I haven't seen. To be honest, I haven't seen a replay.
I mean, not that we should be
replay.
talking about that because that's kind of sugarcoating it a little bit, isn't it? Like it's papering over the cracks, I should say. But still, I thought the ref was giving so much to Arsenal.
Yeah, I felt like that as well.
You know, the amount of times Xhaka was taking players down and just like all these cynical fouls, but not quite cynical enough to be a yellow card. And in the moment, I can't remember who got the first yellow card for us. But straight away, yellow card.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Emerson, I can't remember now. But
no, it was. Can't remember who it was.
Can't remember anyone in the comments
Kev
section.
Williams says Kane's backroom sulking is bringing the team down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just we don't know.
We don't know that, but you know,
Josh Bonner says 4-2-4 with Skip and Højbjerg in the centre. Play a front four with Kane and Son as strikers. Kane can drop into this cam to help creativity. Sick of Ali and Ndombele hiding in difficult games and not backtracking. Do we drop Dele and Ndombele?
I think you can start in Ndombele. But the thing is he's only just come back. He's had 1 week. He's played 4 games, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to go a little bit easy on him, even though we all know his flaws. And I think after about the 45th minute, 50th minute, he becomes a liability, and we know that. But he's still trying to get his legs again at the moment, and I want to see it once he's got his fitness fully going. If he's still not working hard enough off the ball, then that is a serious issue for me. But he did prove it to me last season. Off the ball, for most of the games last season, he was at times the best player for a series of games.
Lloris had an interview yesterday, and he said when he's talking about Ndombele, he said he just needs games to get a rhythm. He needs to find that rhythm.
And he said his mind's right.
He said smile, he's communicating with everyone again.
Yeah.
And so I want to try. He said I have no doubt in my mind that Ndombele will start performing again.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
He said. So I want to see Ndombele involved as much as possible.
So for me, as long as he feels fit for the next game, you start him and you play Højbjerg and Skip just behind, and you make sure one of those is playing some kind of disciplined role, not going walkabouts, if you know what I mean. If they both go wandering, then it's going to leave too many holes, basically. And we build from the back that way.
Brains McLeod says, soon Spurs fans are going to be calling for our only world-class players dropped while we get humped every game. It's insane, really is. It's insane, it really is. That's what he said. Good old Brains. I
like Brains. He was hilarious when he came onto the watch.
You met him before, Brains?
No, but he came onto the watch.
He's great, isn't he? We love
you. He said about Levy. I won't repeat it, but it was one of the best things I've heard.
The poll. Should we have a poll update?
Oh, yeah, go on.
300 votes. 71% say yes, he should be dropped. 29% say no. Do you reckon if we did this poll on Wednesday after the cup win, do you reckon it would have been the same results?
It would have been lower.
Would have been lower.
It would have been more balanced because fans
are
fickle.
I think it would have been flipped.
I don't think quite that much.
You reckon after Wednesday, if you ask fans, should he be dropped for Sunday?
For
Sunday?
Yeah.
For the next game?
Yeah. In the Premier
You don't
League,
think that would have been flipped? You don't think everyone would have gone apeshit if we dropped Kane?
I don't think it would have
scored?
been 72%.
I think it would have been. You don't think everyone would have gone apeshit if he didn't play on Sunday after his performance on Wednesday? They would have. I think they would have. I'm not saying he was like the best thing since sliced bread on Wednesday.
We can test it. We can do
We
another
can't.
one.
How?
We can do another poll when he plays the midweek game.
When he plays well.
Yeah.
Just saying, yeah, you're right.
But there's that midweek game, and then you came on the post match, and you were like, John, you were like, how's Harry Kane playing? You know what I mean? And then when he had that shock at the weekend, it was just Ben that came on. I was like, where's Sim?
I was going to come on. I was going to come on,
okay,
but you had to leave.
Yeah.
So it's you, actually. It's your fault. Let's talk about Javik Tanganga. He came off at half-time on Sunday. Emerson came on, did okay in the second half, I thought.
Do you know what?
But Jaffet, do you feel like he got a bit exposed on Sunday?
The team got exposed.
Not him personally.
You could say he did personally.
Because on the ball, what did you think of him?
Yeah, it wasn't good, was it? Down that side, they were getting a lot of joy, weren't they?
I felt like they targeted him a bit.
Yeah.
Which is a problem because I thought Tanganga was going to do what he did against City. Just bring on all comers. Whoever challenges him,
I know,
he who dares wins, kind of thing. Like he's just going to go for it. And I think he started the game like that, but on the ball, it was worrying. I must say, it was very worrying. He panicked a lot. He had a serious lack of composure.
But as you
on
said
the ball.
about Kane, if there was you were saying because we're just hoofing long balls to him, he was like feeding off scraps. It was like you can understand it. Structurally, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Can you not make the same argument for Tanganga?
You could.
If there was more of a structure around him, he would probably play a bit better, wouldn't he, as well?
Probably. You could say that, but I felt like there were times where he was on the ball and
it didn't look good.
He just panicked.
Yeah.
He just didn't look comfortable on the ball whatsoever. And that worried me a bit. I thought in this kind of game, I thought he might show a bit more, but he was rightly taken.
Do you know what, Emerson? Here's the thing. This is what fans do. If a team is getting battered, it's almost like every player gets rated lower out of 10, isn't it? Psychologically, it's what fans do, right?
Of course it is, yeah.
But objectively, there were players that actually had a good game. Believe it or not, Skip had a good game.
Skip. We gave him 7. We gave him 7.
No, if you actually look at these players individually, there were a few players actually. Emerson actually played well.
We gave him a 6.
Moura played excellently.
Gave him a 5.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you would. Yeah. For me,
I think Lucas.
I watched Moura like a hawk that game because I was almost thinking like.
I was
even thinking what you're going to say about him. He got dispossessed twice in that game.
4 times.
Oh, 4 times.
4 times.
And
more than
those
anyone
times, he was the only one driving past players. A player that takes risks on the ball is going to get dispossessed.
Yeah.
It's the nature of someone that dribbles.
Not saying never was a bad thing.
But he was the one that was the only real bright spark in that team, apart from when Hill came on, I would say, right? He was working hard. Everything he was doing, even like these tiny little pockets to play through, where he could just pass it sideways, he was taking risks and passing through the lines, Moura. And I would say 95%, he didn't give the ball away at all. And everything was positive as well, zipping through the lines, zip, 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 dribbling, aggressive, and even got the shot for the end, quick, get past a couple of men, get the shot off. For me, objectively, he had a really good game. But because he's in a team that was shit, then it's one of those things that all fans do. You go, give them all 1 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's what we do, you know?
I think...
But actually, he had a good game. Skip had a good game.
Skip had a really good game.
Hill had a good game.
Yeah.
And I thought Emerson was all right. I do.
Yeah.
I thought Emerson was all right.
I would say when it comes to Lucas, I thought first half, I thought he was just as bad as everyone. I really did.
I thought it was excellent. First 10 minutes, I thought it was brilliant.
First 10 minutes, I don't have a good recollection of the first 10 minutes, but I just remember the first half. I actually thought if there were a few times where Lucas, maybe it was just because he was coming back from injury or something.
It definitely wasn't a 5 out of 10 performance.
I thought there were a few times where maybe in a week ago or so he would have been bursting past these players and actually getting in positions, and a few times he got tackled.
You hate on him too much.
No, he got tackled.
I thought he was the one. He was the only.
A few times
he was the only bright spark in that team.
I just thought he got tackled a few times where he wouldn't have usually gotten tackled in a few situations, and that disappointed me. I thought the first half he was a bit like the other Kane and Son. I thought he just wasn't getting involved enough. I thought he didn't get the opportunity to. But in the second half, I agree. He was definitely our brightest spark, like in the front three. He was the one looking to create stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good. But the problem is with Lucas.
That first half we were getting battered though. Like you can't expect too much. We were getting totally overloaded.
No, I'm not.
But I think despite that, I thought he was the one that was almost carrying us at times. You know. But so for me, it was definitely not a 5 out of 10 performance from him. I thought he was. If that was a Hill came on in that place or a youngster, you would be raving about his performance, absolutely raving about it. Because it's Moura, and there's like people look at him through like Moura tinted glasses.
No, because he's 29 years of age. He's 28 years of age, and we expect more. I expect Moura. Not forget the Arsenal game. Just in general, I appreciate Moura's quality, but he can't. Like he needs better players with him. With Lucas without better players, is nothing.
If you were to take,
if your best player in the front three is Lucas Moura, you have a problem. You have a problem.
If you take Moura and Kane, and you said that you had an alien came down, you said, and you watched all these Premier League games this season, you said one of these players is world class, and the other one is one fans think he should have gone in. Some fans think he should have gone in the summer, and he's a bit of a fringe player. Which one do you think they would say was world class?
Obviously. If you look,
so why does he get so much hate then?
If you look,
I think he's actually.
He doesn't get hate. Who hates him?
You.
I don't hate him.
You do.
Why do I hate him?
Because whenever you talk about him, you're like, yeah, he got dispossessed 4 times. You know, like
just to piss you off.
You know, I know, that's what it is. That's what it really is with you. Yeah, but I think given all that, given the fact that people, you wanted him out, you lot want him out in the summer. I think he's actually done well.
Just like
I think he's done really well.
On Kane, and I'm blind about Kane. You're blind.
No, but
about
I don't say he's world class. I don't say he's the perfect forward.
Who, Lucas?
Yeah, I just say he's underrated. That's all. I
rate him to what he should be rated. He's a very good dribbler. He's very good at opening space, very good at dribbling in tight spaces. But when it comes to really making an impact with goals and assists and passes and through balls and that kind of stuff, it's very limited. Very limited. And the fact is, Lucas always needs better players with him to make him effective. Otherwise, he's not effective.
I still think he's been the best of a bad bunch this season. I really do. But anyway, let's go back.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I do think that.
Moura, I said in my predicted lineup, if Moura's fit, he comes straight into the team.
Yeah, I do.
He comes straight.
I'm glad you said that. Yes, I'm turning him into a Moura section.
I like Moura. I'm turning him
into a Moura section. Slowly.
I like Lucas Moura. I'm a fan of Lucas Moura.
I'm going to turn you.
I just realised his deficiencies.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want this to be about Moura.
It always turns in about Moura. It turns out to be about Moura.
I'm going to get a Moura snuggly. What are they called? What are those little things called?
Moura.
You know those little. You can get them from the Spurs shop.
Don't spend any money in that Spurs shop.
No, that's
mate.
true. Actually, no, that's true.
I'm not allowing you to spend any money.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Emerson? No, Tanganga. Sorry.
Yeah. So I don't know how. In terms of him, he obviously started the season really well. Then he got sent off against Palace.
Yeah.
Came back against who was the next game? Didn't play against Chelsea, and then obviously came back into North London derby. Didn't play particularly well. He played quite well against Wolves, I felt, but didn't play particularly well on Sunday. So,
what do you think the answer is of him? What would you like to see happen with him?
I feel like he is a better centre back because when you're centre back. I think when you're right back, you need to be a lot more comfortable on the ball than you are a centre back. Centre back, you can kind of get away with not being as comfortable and just clearing it all the time, and be a better centre back than you can be a right back while being uncomfortable on the ball. Because you need when you're on the right hand side, you need to be playing passes down the line. You need to be involved in the build up play a lot more than you do when you're centre back. When you're centre back, you just need to get the ball, maybe play a quick forward pass, or if someone's closing you down, just lump it long. You can mask your deficiencies on the ball a lot more at centre back than you can at right back.
Do you think the way forward is to play him right sided centre back?
Potentially, yeah.
But do you see that happening? Would you like to see that happen?
Huh?
Would you like that? Would you like to see that given a trial? Or do you think he's not ready for that?
I would like him to be given a trial at right centre back. And even more when you play 3 at the back, even more so you can mask your deficiencies on the ball. Even more so because you've got 2 centre backs with you who you can just give the ball to. So I think right centre back with more support could suit him a lot more.
Would you like to see that happen quite soon?
It's difficult. Yes and no, because I feel like we have 3. If we play 3 at the back, Emerson right wing back, Reguilon left wing back, which is decent. But then you're pretty much playing Højbjerg and Skip in the centre, and then either you're playing a front 3 or you're playing 3-2. I just don't know. I don't know whether there's enough on the ball quality. Like you're playing like 8 defensive players pretty much. or 7 defensive players, is there enough on the ball? Will Tottenham fans be satisfied with maybe how little we look or how lack of quality we have on the ball, even just for the results? I don't know. It's because I think 3-5-2 tactically for the players.
So you don't even want to see
work.
it as a 3-5-2, as the 3 at the back.
Well, how else would you do it?
You wouldn't want to see Tanganga playing next to someone else.
Oh, in a 2?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a Romero.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I just don't think.
Who's your partner? Who do you still go with at the back?
I think
now?
we have to put our trust in Romero. I believe that. And then I with Romero, I think actually in a weird way it might have to be Rodon, because I tell you why. I think ideally I would want Rodon. I would want Romero with Sanchez, but Romero and Sanchez are both a lot more comfortable on the right hand side of defence. On Wolves, Sanchez looked like a different player when he played on the left hand side of defence. He just didn't look comfortable at all, passing the ball out and stuff like that. Where it didn't look comfortable on Sunday either. But Dyer is more comfortable on the left hand side, but he's not as aggressive or physically dominant as someone like Rodon would. And then Rodon is very comfortable on the left, and he's more physically dominant, and maybe could build a partnership with Romero. So actually, I think Romero and Rodon might be my partnership.
Yeah.
I'll give a try at the moment, because I think those maybe have.
So
a
you'd come
higher
straight
ceiling.
in with those, would you?
I'd maybe trial it in like a Europa Conference League game or something, and then go for it in the league. But yeah, well, I think ideally, when I think about it logically, those two at the back, because Rodon's a lot more comfortable on the left and Romero's a lot more comfortable right. They're both very aggressive, very physical. Rodon's got a 6'4", he can beat anyone in the air. Both strong, so I think technically. Those two could be not the answer, but what are my choice.
That's what I thought it would be by the end of the season. They would be the two, yeah. But it's whether or not you do it straight away, or you give them a chance
for now,
to.
I think it'll be like Romero and Dyer probably is my
I think
choice.
I think Nuno will choose Dyer.
Yeah, because he's got experience as well.
Yeah, I think
he's our most senior centre back.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think for now Romero and Dyer, but then Rodon with a view of Rodon coming in. I think. So with Tanganga. I thought he had a good game against Palace before he got sent off, but is he? I don't know. I also felt like him getting sent off also showed off his not immaturity, but maybe immaturity.
I'd like to know how many games he's actually played, though. I think it's probably only about 15 games, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot.
So I mean, do you give him? Should we be giving him a little bit more?
Of course, but I did think it actually showed that. How easily he got riled up and diving into challenges on a yellow card, like his lack of experience showed in that moment. I think, despite
it was a shame that no one
game.
actually just got hold of him and said anything. That's what upset me.
That's the
bit
problem.
As well.
The problem is
because the camera focused on him, and you could see that he was so hot-headed. He was almost like he was like, like cartoon smoke coming out of his nose. You could see it was like affecting him, but no one was like trying to because he only had like Rodon there to, or someone like that, or like a Davies. They weren't there to take on that leadership of going, come on, sort your head out. And unfortunately, it cost us, didn't it?
Should we read through some tweets? It's one I'll put out a tweet before, and people asking our questions. DT Tyler David 01 says Hugo Lloris should not be Spurs captain. Serious lack of leadership, and has been for a few years now. Nostalgia aside, it is time for a change moving forward. Would you switch Lloris right now for the captaincy?
No, for captain, the actual captain, or actual replacing
Oh,
Collini.
for captain.
Yeah,
you would.
I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
I do think that I would rather Højbjerg had the captaincy right now, but Brian actually made a good point on the watch along. When he's coming to the end of his career, I believe he is with Spurs anyway. A lot of fans think he should be there for another 3 seasons or so. And I think it'd just be a little bit disrespectful to take the captaincy off him at this stage, But for me, he's not really captain material. I know he's captain for France, but he's not vocal enough.
Well, did you watch?
I'm traditional. I prefer someone to be a captain on the pitch.
Did you watch the Amazon
player.
documentary
With Son? Yeah.
No, the Amazon one.
Yeah.
No, not the Son one. The Spurs one.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
when he's like pulling Son up.
Not just that moment. I just felt like that documentary showed to me more leadership in Lloris than you thought.
Yeah, there's lots of things that we saw that we weren't.
And also, he's captain for France as well.
Yeah, I just said that, but the thing is, I prefer a captain to be an outfield player. I do. I'm traditional like that. I don't think a captaincy for a goalie does the team any good.
Well, what do you think of the philosophy that you should have 11 You should be having 11 captains?
That's true
on
as
the board?
well. But I do think that it's. I just prefer to have that captain as a Højbjerg than a goalie. I do.
Killer Priest says, "What do you think of fans not supporting the team, but their own selfish agendas?
What's that mean?
Maybe fans, maybe they're too focused on being right rather than focusing on the team. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
what
don't
it
know.
really
If you
means.
can say the context, then we
Yeah,
can
there's
maybe
a
answer that a
context
little
to
bit more. Contextless.
Land 7DR. Does that say something? Lander says is there no feasible way of getting ENIC out the club? What do you think of? What's your reaction to this? Did you see this in the other day? The valuation of ENIC. So apparently, in the past couple of years, there actually has been interest in people buying Spurs.
But Levy's not interested
But
in selling.
yes, that's one thing. But he has quoted a price for what Spurs is worth to them, which has put.
Let
them
me
off.
guess. He's put everyone off with the price.
Guess how much it is.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't like to say.
How much do you think Levy thinks Spurs is worth?
I don't know.
How much do you think
if
Spurs
it's
is worth?
Levy, I don't know. Probably like 10 billion.
No, not that much. 3.5 billion.
Yeah.
3.5. That's put off prospective buyers. Think about if we want Levy and Enoch gone, who is going to come up with 3.5 billion to buy Spurs? No one.
Yeah.
So
So
is
it's
there
just
any
pricing it out.
So there's no feasible way, is there, of getting them out of the club? How is it possible?
Yeah, you can't. It's going to be very, very difficult to. Yeah.
Unless
The
you
only
get
way
a
the only
Middle
way to do it is
Eastern-
you've got to hit Levy where it hurts, and that's in the wallet. You know, so stop buying merchandise, stop
but
buying
still,
shirts.
Unless what? So
you
you're
know?
saying devalue the club?
No, but sometimes you've got to do it. You know how Levy works.
I haven't bought a shirt, by the way, for
Yeah.
like 10 years.
If he gets an inkling that the fans are boycotting, you know, with the merchant, you know, buying jerseys and even stopping going to the ground, then he will see that, and if it affects his wallet, then he'll start actually making some changes. I think he might start thinking about things.
Well, I think you saw in the summer even the protests we did, as much as it didn't change anything, you saw that
It did have an effect.
it had an effect,
Yeah.
because you saw Levy did a video message that she never does, a video interview.
Yeah.
They made a statement about how we're putting this fan representation on the board and all this kind of stuff. I think in the end, obviously Paratici was hired after everyone was complaining we needed a director of football. They hired Paratici. So I think as much as a lot of things still haven't changed and we're still in a bad place.
I think there has to be a little bit of a boycott. You know?
Did you also read? I also read this Telegraph article yesterday explaining how there's actually not just with the playing staff, with actually the non-playing staff at Tottenham. There's a big issue with. There's a big problem with how happy they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently, he said, where is it? Let's see if I can get it up here. He says, where is it? He's talking about Kane. He says anybody who thinks star striker Harry Kane is the only unhappy Spurs employee is seriously underestimating the situation. He says that he goes on to say how he goes on to list all these people who Spurs have let go in the last couple years who have been very long-serving employees of the club, who've been there for like decades or whatever. And then the paragraph says, Tottenham now have a situation where the undercurrent of bad feeling over the treatment of certain employees means that some staff prefer not to even speak to each other, and the players are so cut off from the situation that they do not pick up on the bad feeling between the staff. So what kind of effect do you think that has around the club?
Which kind of employees are they referring to here?
They're referring to Simon Felstein, who was part of the communications team. They're referring to head of marketing Emma Taylor and head of retail Victoria Hawksley. They're referring to...
Have they gone now, these?
They've all gone, these people.
Let's get them on the show.
We should get them on the show.
Let's bring them on.
I'm pretty sure they probably signed NDAs, didn't they? No, Levy. Simon Barber as well, who used to be... what did he do? Simon Bamba, sorry, who was usually a popular figure around the club. He's the commercial chief. He left as well. So quite a few All these people have been there for like 10, 15 years. And
what are they putting that down to?
I know they just got rid. They got rid of them, Spurs.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's creating an air of discontent amongst the whole staff. Is that what?
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's creating a situation where a lot of the staff don't want to talk to each other.
Because they're seeing long-standing employees
people leave and maybe they're not happy with the situation. And also the furlough. He said the furlough situation contributed to that, where they were going to cut their wages.
I can't comment on it. I don't know enough.
I know, but just trying to put yourself in a situation where not just if you're at a football club, if you're a player at a football club, and a lot of there's a problem with the non-footballing staff. Could that create an issue with the footballing side of things as well, if it gets too bad?
I don't know how much contact they would have with them.
Or day to day, wouldn't it?
What, the head of marketing with Harry Kane?
Not that specifically, but other members of staff. They have it with the.
Well, if they're working on the training side, yeah.
Yeah, the players always have interaction.
The office is totally separate to the, isn't it?
Well, the training ground, the training complex.
I would have thought there's lots of staff that aren't going to have any face-to-face contact with the players. I would have thought.
Maybe.
I mean, how many staff does Tottenham Hotspur have? It's probably in the thousands, isn't it?
Probably, you'd think so.
Or at least hundreds.
But you'd think the top people, they probably might have the players might have quite a bit of contact with them.
I mean, they might come in and just occasionally go through the office, but I wouldn't have thought.
But I wouldn't have
thought the office.
Well, it says here the players. The players are not so cut off that they do not pick up on the bad feeling.
They can probably smell a bad atmosphere, can't they? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that, to be honest with you. Here's one from Faisal. I honestly think Kane has always given 110%, yet he hasn't scored yet, but that doesn't mean he isn't putting all his efforts. COYS. You'll like that one.
I do like. Come on, big up Faisal. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's more worrying or not that he is putting 100% effort in or not. You know what I mean? Because if he is paying 100% effort
just before that, the comment before that you might want to read. Sim, never going to marry because you're so stubborn.
Yeah, damn right.
I love Sim's stubbornness. That's what I love about him.
Oh, I never budge. Jordan Hussein says, I agree and disagree with you, Sim. In a lot of businesses, people who have been within businesses for long periods of time will be part of a cull to freshen up the approach. Oh, well, you see, you were talking about the thing. Okay, here's a fun one.
Oh, Tommy's got a good one.
Go on.
Super chat.
Oh, where is it?
Sim, I hope I find a girl that backs me like you back Kane. From Tommy Castillo. That level of commitment that Sim shows. Ladies, please just watch all these videos of him and Harry Kane. He'll never leave you. He'll always say nice things about you. Even if you come out of the club with toilet roll on your high heel.
If you find a girl who's been as good to you as Kane has been to Spurs for 8 years, then you'll be lucky.
We need to get Sim on one of those dating shows.
Here's a fun one. Spurs have best tweeted us. What is your best insignificant goal Spurs have scored? The best insignificant goal.
Oh, that's a lovely question.
The goal that didn't mean anything. The best goal Spurs have ever scored.
That didn't mean anything.
That meant nothing.
That really.
That we in a loss, basically. I'm guessing that's what it means.
So it's probably in a lot. Can you go first to give me time to think?
Maybe Bale away into Milan. One of those goals. That was pretty good. Didn't mean anything.
That wasn't meaningless for me.
Well, it kind of was.
No, because it affected the goal difference of the group, that game.
Did it?
Yeah, and also there was something really magical about coming back from 4-0 down and 10 men.
Okay, I got one. Easy. Lamella in the North London derby.
Not at the time.
It's an insignificant goal. Oh, okay.
No, but I think it should be at the time.
Consolation. You mean like a consolation goal?
I just think at the time that meant a lot, though, the Lamella Rabona. I think one that...
What does insignificant mean? Is that like a consolation goal, or is that a goal in loss, or a goal that didn't mean anything? What does that mean? Do
you know what? The only one I can think of, but it's... what was his name? Gylfi.
Sigurdsson.
Yeah, he does a little Cruyff turn and then smashes it into
the top. That was in the cup?
Yeah. I'm not sure how important that was.
Well, we won the cup game, so I can't say it's insignificant.
But I think the game had already been won at that point, hadn't it?
No, we won on penalties that day.
Did we? Okay. All right, maybe something else then. I'll have to have a think about that one then. I'm sure there's loads. I'm sure it's absolutely loads of goals like that.
Ben says Harry Kane mask ghost. Last goal
Yeah, well,
I've
that turned out to be
I wouldn't say it was
so
insignificant.
sad.
A draw in the North London derby is not insignificant.
No, but we could have won the league if
Yeah,
we won that
true.
game. Yeah,
Wings
that's a good
halfway
shout.
line shot. Went down the Europa League last year. That was pretty insignificant, to be
Yeah.
fair. I remember
Especially because he didn't mean it.
I remember we played Bolton like a decade ago. We lost,
Yeah.
got battered at the Reebok. But I remember Pavlyuchenko scored one of the best volleys I've ever seen. We were like 3-0 down and he got us back in the game. That was one. Pavlyuchenko scored a lovely volley.
That's a really good question. In the comments section, can you think of that as well? Which goal? Sissoko versus Bournemouth.
Kane
someone says.
versus Juventus in a friendly. That's a good one. Kane scored in the halfway line against Chesney in a friendly. That was completely insignificant.
right,
It was
yeah.
a friendly, but it was a great goal.
Oh goodness, I'm gonna think. It's just one of those things. And when I get home, I'll think of it, and it'll be too late. But yeah,
Bale
good.
versus Man City. What game was that?
Don't know.
Adebayor at Stamford Bridge. We got a draw though. That wasn't insignificant. I don't understand. Bergwijn versus Villa. No. I think insignificant means like a consolation goal or something.
Yeah,
That's what I would, or a friendly maybe.
yeah.
Best insignificant goals.
I can't think,
Like a goal
I can't
in a
think
draw
of a
is
real.
not
I
insignificant.
can't think of a real worldie.
Sandro against Chelsea. That's a
Yeah.
good one. That
Oh,
was a good one.
Eriksen against Chelsea as well.
We won that 3-1 though. We're all just naming good goals now.
Yeah, I'm just naming good goals.
You're just naming great
just
goals.
against Chelsea.
Trying to
Yeah, I'm
think.
sure there's loads, isn't there? Oh, I know one. Oh, and I've got it. Sim,
Oh,
I've got it.
Højbjerg against Liverpool.
Sim,
That was
I've got
a good
it.
one.
I've got it.
What?
Eric Edman.
That was at
Eric
Anfield.
Edman.
We drew that game. 2-2.
Eric Edman.
That was a great goal.
Yeah.
That's a draw. From a
Yeah,
draw.
but okay.
A draw at
Was it
Anfield.
2-2?
2-2, yeah. And what a goal that was from Eric
Yeah,
Edman.
Eric Edman.
Højbjerg against Liverpool was a good one because that was when we lost 3-1. And
I'm
that
gonna
was
go
a
Eric
consolation.
Edman.
Eric Edman.
Yeah.
Bell versus Inter. Yeah, Bell versus City when Parker got stamped on. That's a good one. I like this. Most
Yeah, this is nice.
insignificant-
Yeah. This is taking the
insignificant-
sting off the Kane debate, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
We're saving your blushes.
Trying to think. Most insignificant goals.
Oh, someone said Lucas versus Ajax. I know what he's saying by that.
That's not
I know, but he was
insignificant.
talking about the final, isn't he? Like leading up to the final.
Oh, I see. Well, come on.
So Spurs the best says, glad I sparked a conversation. You did. Well done.
Pointless means
Tottenham.
Tottenham. So any goal for Tottenham is insignificant.
Sad, but
any goal for
there's a
Tottenham.
bit of truth in that as well.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh yes,
like,
Kane when he claimed a goal he didn't touch.
true.
It skimmed off his badge.
Trying.
No, he probably didn't even skim off his badge, did it?
No.
Um,
Trying to remember other goals.
when Jordan says when we lost 5-1 to Chelsea, whoever scored in that.
When did we lose
When
5-1
was
to
that
Chelsea? 0-1,
5-1?
the semi-final.
Oh, the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Wasn't that 4-1?
That was 5 at
Was
the
it
end.
5?
Yeah, it was terrible.
thought
We
it was
actually, I
4-1.
left at 4-1 in that game, and it was.
I think I stopped watching at 4 as well.
That was terrible. That was one
Yeah.
where the goal. Remember the ghost goal?
Was that a ghost goal?
Yeah, do you remember it? 2-0. It was 1-0 to Chelsea.
Didn't they go 2-0 up and then Bale got an equal? Got the next one.
Yeah, but what happened was it was 2-0. It was
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah.
Spurs were by far the better team. They scored against the run of play,
Yeah.
and then in the second half they got a goal that didn't go over the line.
Oh.
Do you remember that? So the ball didn't go anywhere near over the line, and they
Spursy.
gave the goal, and it went 2-0. And then Bale got a goal at 2, made it 2-1, but it should have been 1-1.
It's typical, isn't it? Like sucker punch. Come, we're boring people now. John
Someone says
says.
boring. I'm off.
Yeah, come on, right.
All right.
Should we
Well,
round things off?
I guess that's
I
it.
think Sim. I think I went easy on you today.
A bit.
I went easy on you. I
think
didn't want to
held
be
my
too.
own.
I didn't
held
want to be
my
too
own.
aggressive with
I
you
held my
today.
own. I'm waiting-
Don't be too hard on
I
you
can't
today.
wait for Kane
Well,
to
The Irish Hotspur.
Kane score a brace on a Sunday, and then all of a
I'm
sudden
sure you'll
everyone,
be giving me hell though.
I
won't you?
definitely will be.
Yeah,
and then the poll. We'll do another poll. We'll see about 80% saying he shouldn't be dropped. I'm
yeah.
telling
You
you.
probably.
But I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
playing Slovenia's 5th best team
Oh
on
goodness
tomorrow.
me! Do you know? I actually really like doing the midweek watch-alongs.
Yeah,
they're a
just
good laugh
pressing-
actually.
yeah.
I don't know. They're just good fun.
You like facing
Yeah.
Moura?
Sorry.
Moura.
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 You nearly said Moura.
Moura?
You nearly-
I bet
some-
you'll claim if we lose tomorrow, you'll probably claim some sort of victory, won't you, with Moura?
Probably. Jordan says, "Can we talk about Winks, world class or not?" That can be our next one.
He's a world-class bench warmer.
Oh, you could be saying the next year about Kane.
Oh, I don't think so, mate. I never say that about Harry Kane. Never say about Harry Kane. Look, he's given me 8 years. I'm going to be loyal for a few more games,
Yeah.
a few more than 6 games. I'm going to be loyal
Until he completely
cheats
cheats on you and
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
all
well
right,
done.
guys. Thanks
Enjoyed
for
that.
another HOTSPAR, John.
Yeah, thanks.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Coops.
It could have been more heated, couldn't it?
Could have been,
it
but I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Look.
we kept it steady.
You don't want to get me too angry.
Yeah, I know.
And you know you can't claim. Look, it's only 6 games. You don't want to start doing your victory lap just yet.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
So big up the Morosexuals, Amzo says. Yeah.
Well, go on. What he says.
He
Question,
says, big
would
up
you take
my-
Enoch selling Spurs but get relegated to the Championship and win the Cup treble? Bloody hell.
What?
That's quite a lot. So
I would.
sell Enoch,
Yeah.
but Spurs get relegated,
Relegated.
but also win the Cup treble.
Of course, I'll take that.
So then we'll be League Cup, FA Cup, and Conference League holders.
Yeah.
And we'll be in the Championship.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then you just get come up the next following year.
So we
We've
come
got
up,
3
and then
trophies.
also, what about this?
Yeah.
Not only you get promoted the next following year,
Yeah.
and you win Europa League. So then next you come straight into the league.
Yeah.
Back
And
in the
straight to Champions League.
Perfect.
Amzo, that's not even a debate. Take me there now.
We're going to become the first. Yeah, in fact, in a weird way, despite being in the Championship, like you still, because you're in Europa League, it's like you can get Champions League. Keep Kane. All right, guys.
Oh,
nice
dear.
to see you. No, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the HOTSPAR. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the tweets you send in. It was a fun episode, John. Thank you
Yeah,
for
well
joining
done,
me
mate.
as
Thanks for
always.
that. Yeah, always good.
Much appreciated.
My jousting buddy.
Loved it. We'll be probably similar time next week, so tune in for that. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always,
Come on, you Spurs.
Never thought that we'd go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star.